we had this whole thing that was going down with the Miami Dolphins. They were able to sign their running back Malcolm Perry. That went down. Now they got Austin Jackson left. They got the big boys are left. They got Austin Jackson left. Robert Hunt is left. And then Noah Igbenogany is left. So 2 of their first-round picks and their second-round pick remain.
The hardest person to sign is going to be the defensive back because he's 32nd.
32nd? Right? Was he 32nd or 30th, Robbie?
30th.
30th. I'm 30th. So it might not be as difficult.
Is 32nd typically harder, like on that borderline?
Well, because they want to pay you like a second rounder, but they want to have that 5th year like a first rounder. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a weird thing because it would almost have been better if he'd been the 33rd pick instead of the 32nd pick. The money's not going to be that much different, but you only get 4 years.
I saw this that in the Miami Herald, somebody told Barry Jackson, who had spoke with the Dolphins, they still believe that Michael Dieter has the potential to be a starting guard, perhaps even this season if Hunt isn't ready, but he needs to bulk up. I guess the good kind of bulk up. He said last season, I need to get stronger and more fit. They want him at his weight right now, but in a different body where he was listed at 310. So... Right. He's a big fella. I thought when they got a Wisconsin guard, I was like, boom, baby. That's what you do. You go get fat Wisconsin guards. That's how you build yourself a line. But but
it takes a while. Like, you got to develop your body for the pounding, for the length of the season. So when you talk about a guy saying, I need to be fit, it's not necessarily as far as endurance. It's fit as far as being able to mash for 16, 17 weeks, playoffs, training camp. Like you don't experience all that in college, not to mention normally in college, you're usually the dominant guy if you're in the NFL.
Right. You just it's kind of like you just roll the fat guys out there at Wisconsin. They just expect you to mash.
Well, that's Big Ten in general. You know what I mean? When I was at Michigan, I played behind 2 of the biggest human beings I've ever seen in my life. Jumbo Elliott and Greg Skrepnik. Jumbo Elliott talked like a giant. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that Calais Campbell voice?
Yeah. He was massive. And Greg Skrepnik was bigger than him.
Jeez.
They couldn't Greg Skrepnik was so big. They couldn't weigh him at the facility. They had to take him to a meat packing company to weigh him on that scale.
Who is the guy the Dolphins are most excited about outside of Tua, though? Like from this whole deal, is it
lineman?
Is it the offensive lineman? Or
simply because
so it's just fat guys. Is it Igbenogany? Is it the Navy running back? Is there anybody else like that you would spark excitement?
No, I would say the offensive lineman because here. In order to get a cohesive unit, right? It helps that a lot of your guys are young, so that you're going to get 4 or 5 years. Maybe you can get 4 or 5 years with the same offensive line. You do that, you're far ahead of the game. If you can have the same offensive line for 4 or 5 years, right, and let them grow together. Oh, you're way ahead of the game. You're way ahead. That doesn't happen. So
would you rank
the fact that they're young and they could come in and play, that they have to be looking forward to that.
So you rank fat guys like Igbenogany, and then who the defensive tackle Raekwon Davis, Robbie, is like that where you would go in order of excitement?
That you can also throw in Curtis Weaver. Curtis Weaver is a good player in a bad body. He was like a first, second round project, and then he fell all the way to the 5th round. So if he could get anything out of Curtis Weaver, like that's probably way up there too.
Right.
And and honestly, the running game too. Breida, I know he wasn't a draft pick, but he was traded for a draft pick on draft day. If they can get the offensive line, then you got the 1-2 punch of Jordan Howard and Matt Breida.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I know you don't want to hear this.
Don't do it. I know where you're going with this.
I know you don't want to hear this. Don't just cast off Kalen Ballage.
Ooh.
Oh, come on, man. How can how can I have faith in that?
Don't just cast him off. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you think that it's just like, do you think it's going to be a case of he's just going to improve because he's got all the bad stuff out of his system?
No, I would say this.
Or just better line? It's natural.
Yes, better line. There's a reason why they like him, right? There's a reason why. He had a bad year. Probably because I'm gonna tell you the biggest mistake running backs make is you want so bad to make something happen so you can be the reason why your team wins. Mm-hmm. That sometimes you don't take the bunnies and you end up making it worse for your team, right? So instead of seeing that little crack and hitting it, you're like trying to be greedy. No. If I wait, I can get more outside or I can do this. Next thing you know, you got a 2-yard loss.
Because I would tell you right now, he is. He's probably the guy the Dolphins on the roster, like the Dolphin fan has the least faith in.
Yes,
maybe,
I agree.
But
based on what he did last year, I could 100% get that. But what I'm saying is that the Dolphins didn't think he was going to be what he was last year, and they know the real reason why. Could it be because he was running tentative? Because, unsecure, he wasn't secure about what he was seeing in front of him. It's not a talent thing. All right? Was he frustrated trying to make something more than what he can make out of it? Like, again, I've told you all the time, don't ever underestimate 2nd and 7. And I say that because you hear of all these backs in the league that have that an announcer will say, dude never loses yards. You're never going to get a minus carry with him, even if it's not nothing. That's a positive thing. Caleb Elijah's too big to be dancing around in the backfield,
right,
and being that guy losing 5 or 6 yards.
Right, Perry's small. Malcolm Perry's he's like more scat size.
Yeah. I mean, he's a quarterback in a wishbone. So just think of a wishbone quarterback. I mean, I think in the Army Navy game he threw 8 passes.
Listed as 5'10", 181 last year.
Yeah. So he'll be like a scat back, Mr. Everything.
Because Balaji is a big dude.
He's a big dude. You need him to run. Look, you need him to run less like Kenyon Drake and more like old boy from Tennessee.
So if I were to put it out, I would say thing you're most excited about with the Dolphins outside of Tua is, you would say, new O-line, new defensive backfield, new running backs in that order, or do you think it goes O-line, running backs, and new defensive backfield in that order? Because people just
goes O-line, running back. DBs is just solidifying the position, right? It's not that they don't have. They already signed. Well,
if we included Byron Jones in that too, though, like if you have Byron Jones plus you're adding Igbenogany,
right? But that's what I'm saying, that you already had, right before the draft, you already had a solid defensive backfield. You used the draft and you bolstered it a little bit. You got a little bit better. You got some more depth. So I'm going to take that and move that down the list only because you were already set before the draft. Now, here were the issues last year. All right? And we're throwing Tua. We're not counting Tua. O-line. Everybody had questions about the O-line. No, nobody knew who was going to play, who was whatever. They were okay. Average. Okay? Running back. Woo! Running back. Not good. So you got 2 running backs and a scat back. There you go there. D-line. Couldn't really get any pressure on the quarterback.
Nope. Now,
I would like to see them improve at linebacker. One of the reasons why they have all those DBs is because depending on who it is, they're going to put a DB on the tight end. They're not going to even try to find a linebacker that can cover. So what I would like, I would like them at some point to have a guy who's going to play in a phone booth and pack the hole at linebacker and be able to be the quarterback of that defense. If you can do those things, which is it's not that far off, and the quarterback play is going to get better simply because of all the things around you.